Can we shut those doors in the back, Brett? Shut those doors. We're going to have a late bus in today. I would like to welcome everyone to the Scioto County Career Technical Center's Veterans Day recognition. At this time, if you would stand for the SCCTC Collar Guard and remain standing for the presentation of collars. At this time, if you would join me in reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance of America and remain standing for the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
Left, face, forward, march.
You may be seated. What is Veterans Day? The question might be even more important than the history. It is the answer that tells children what this day means for us Americans. It is more than a memorial for soldiers that died in the wars. Veterans Day celebrates the current living soldiers as well as those that we have lost. We honor the courage of all soldiers, past and present, for defending our American liberty and national interests. It is the special day in which we express our thanks to active service members who are out there now keeping us safe, happy, and free. As a nation, we have prospered because we've always had citizens willing to stand up and answer the call to serve in hours of need. Our national resolve has been expressed by the millions who have worn the military uniform. Today, we honor our veterans, past and present, for their unyielding sacrifice and dedication to our great nation. I would like to take this time to offer a special thank you to our secondary faculty and staff who have served our country. If you would please stand to be recognized when I call your name. Mr. Rick Stringer, United States Navy, 1990 to 1994. Mr. Eli Riggs, United States Army, 1982 to 1986. Mr. Doug Compton, United States Air Force, 1995 to 1997. Mr. Randy Dalton, United States Marine Corps, 1993 to 1997. Mrs. Alyssa Yilley, United States Army, 2003 to 2011. Board members, Dr. Paul Crabtree, United States Marines, 1958 to 1961. And Mr. Gary Pyatt, United States Army, 1959 to 1962. I would like to extend my thanks to each of you for your commitment to our country. Thank you. What does it mean to be a veteran? Being a veteran means you're willing to give everything and accept nothing in return. It means you have volunteered to serve so others have a choice. The choice to say what you think, to worship as you choose, to be what you want to be, the choice to live where you want to live. Being a veteran is being part of a brother-sisterhood. It is something that you carry with you for the rest of your life. The experiences that you live through, which you are very thankful for, that you did, are life-altering events and can change a person within a split second. Being a veteran means learning that the measure of a person is who they are, not what they are. Learning that the person who is a little different from you is really just like you. They love, they fear, they care, they laugh, and they cry. It means sacrifice. It can be a little sacrifice, such as standing watch in the middle of the night. It can be a big sacrifice, such as missing birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays because duty called and you answered the call. It can mean the ultimate sacrifice of laying down your life in the defense of your nation or your fellows. Whether you believe in the cause or not, is that the individual veteran who said, with this selfless act of service, I hereby lay down my life in order to benefit someone else. And that selfless act should never be forgotten. A veteran is someone who chokes up when he or she hears the Star-Spangled Banner, torn between a combination of pride for having served, for longing of the days past, for relief that the watch has been turned over. A veteran is someone who hears the call of a bugle playing taps, the sound of a 21-gun salute, and pauses knowing that a fellow soldier, sailor, airman, or Marine is resting, their burden lifted. But there is more to being a veteran than most people realize. So remember, each time you see someone who served our country, just lean over and say thank you. That's all most people need, and in most cases, it will mean more than any medals they could have been awarded or were awarded. Two little words mean a lot. Thank you. At this time, we'd like to bring up Mr. Gary Pyatt. Gary's a retired millwright. He's been a board member multiple years on boards across the state, as well as serving on our Sauter County Career Technical Center board. He's helped us gain many employment jobs in Columbus through the carpenters and millwrights, and he also has a special connection as the grandson is sitting in our class today. So please stand up, give a warm welcome and applause to Mr. Gary Pyatt.
Thank you very much. As I've already been told, my name is Gary Pyatt. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Army. I served from 1959 to 1965. I was discharged as Specialist 5, E5, from the 21st Engineer Company, 30th Engineer Battalion, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. And it's an honor to be one of your board members. I know I represent the best students, the best student body in the county. We have the best administration, staff, teachers, and instructors that I have ever been associated. I can say that with confidence, having served on over 22 boards in my career. Now I have to wipe my nose. Now, the way I take my job as an MC, Master of Ceremonies, or the introducer of our guest speaker, it's my job to get you invested, receptive, being interested in what the speaker has to say. In Speech 101, they say it, do it with humor, that the audience can relate to. So I took a little time, and I know we have 18 programs here, but time does not allow me to relate to each program. So I just picked them at random, and these are just little one-liners. Beauticians. A beautician work is never done. It's a permanent job. Now, I ran that by my daughter. She got it. What kind of cars do beauticians drive? Compact cars. Electricians. What's the difference between God and an electrician? God doesn't think he's an electrician. Welders. What's the difference between a plumber and a welder? The plumber exposes his crack. The welder fills it in. Now, if you're a welder and you smell pork, you're on fire. A carpenter. If he has a bandage on his thumb, he hit the wrong nail. This is for, I know we got a lot of different medical programs, so this is for all of you in the medical field. This is for medical students. Due to the rising cost of medical tests, all you need to do is pee under a tree. Wait a bit. If ants gather, diabetes. If grass dries up, high salt. If it smells like barbecue, high cholesterol. If you forget to pull up your pants, Alzheimer's. All right, now, it's my pleasure to introduce the guest speaker, Colonel Aaron Pawson. Now, I met Colonel Pawson some months ago at a MOVE class in Portsmouth through the VA. And if you ever have an opportunity to be one-on-one with him, he has this rare ability to make you think you're the most important person in the room. And what you have to say is the most important thing that he's heard. He's never got above his raisins. He's an old farm boy from Scaffold Lick, Barbrick, Kentucky. It's been my honor and pleasure to know him. Now, Colonel Pawson graduated from Lewis County High School Graduated from Moorhead University with a degree in agriculture, a master's degree in exceptional children, and a school administrator's degree. He has 30 years of teaching experience. He's taught school in Wilmington, Ohio, Ocala, Florida, Elizabeth, Kentucky, Greenup, Kentucky, Portsmouth City Schools. He retired in 2018. Now, he received his commission as a second lieutenant as he graduated from Moorhead State University ROTC program. He was assigned to the 100th Division Army Reserve. He graduated Armor Officer School and was promoted to first lieutenant. He was a captain when he joined the Florida National Guard, when he taught down in Ocala. He was sent back to the 100th Division at Fort Knox, Kentucky as a company commander. He was promoted to a major as a company commander of a test and evaluation company. He was promoted to lieutenant colonel and assigned to Command and General Staff College. Then he volunteered for active duty as a personnel recovery instructor and deployed to Iraq to complete the Task Force Iron Claw counterinsurgency school. He was then assigned to Langley Air Force Base as an action officer to develop doctrine to meet the needs of our warfighters. He volunteered to serve as an agricultural specialist, Kentucky Agricultural Team in Afghanistan. He retired as a full bird colonel in 2013. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce you to Colonel Aaron Paulson.
Love you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gary, for that introduction. That's going to be a hard act to follow there. I don't have any jokes, but I do have something I'll show you here in a minute. But this is like church. You know, all the front rows are empty, and all the back rows are filled up. So, but wow, what a school. What an awesome school you have here. And in just a few minutes that I've spent here meeting Mr. Copley for the first time, and of course Mr. Shoemaker, I've known him for a little while. And, you know, meeting Mr. Crabtree and Mr. Howard, you got a great support system here. And I first got hired I got to tell you this, I got hired at Portsmouth City Schools in 1998. And Gary covered a little bit of that, but Tommy Walker is the one that interviewed me. And I remember we're up on that second floor of the old school building, didn't have air conditioning, and had all that old stuff, old black chalkboards and all that. And Tommy Walker gave this spiel, and I was an old Greenup County boy. I come from teaching school at Greenup County, and I was scared to death to teach at Portsmouth. I thought I was going to have to go to different places and earn that combat badge, going to the different places in Portsmouth, you know. And but Tommy Walker gave a speech that, you know, it just blew me away. And then he was followed up by Bob West. Big old Bob West. Is Bob in here? He's got the kids probably somewhere else. But he gave a speech too, and it really impressed me. And I took that to heart, and I tried to grow on it. But yeah, I'm from Lewis County. Anyone know where Lewis County is? Okay. When you hear Lewis County, you think of Vanceburg. But I'm way up on this end. I was raised about 6 miles from Portsmouth. So it's the best of the best kept secret in the area, I think. So got a farm over there. My dad and I got farms, and so while I was in high school, I loved vocational education. And as a little guy, a 7th, 8th grader, I looked up to those high school kids and what they were wearing. Okay, and if you give me a second, I want to pull something out for you. Anybody recognize this? This jacket here. Surely we got some vocational agriculture students from satellite schools. This is my old Lewis County High School FFA jacket. And when I was an 8th grader, I couldn't wait to get to the high school to purchase one of these and wear it and be part of the Lewis County FFA program. So, vocational education's been in my blood. The Smith-Hughes Act of 1917, and I'm not going to put anybody on the spot here, the Smith-Hughes Act started vocational education. Remember those classes in school y'all took? Yeah, I know you do. But that's what started vocational education, 1917. And wow, it changed this country. It became more industrialized, and students started taking these programs and so forth. So, but yeah, I just wanted to show you that, but I have strong roots in vocational education. First started teaching vocational education, vocational agriculture at Wilmington, Ohio, in the Live Oaks Joint Vocational School District. That's where I started. And from there, I went, and as Mr. Gary has shared with you, I've been to several different places. So I've got over 30 years of teaching experience, and I have over 30 years in the military. Now, that's 60 years. So how do you get there? I mean, I'm not that old, I don't think, but so here's how you get there. 23 years of it was in the Army Reserve. So I served in the Army Reserve from 83 to 2006, and then I served 7 years on active duty. Now, the 23 years in Army Reserve was a lot harder than the 7 years on active duty. I'm going to tell you that right now. Imagine teaching school all week, going home, packing your bags, and driving 4 hours to your duty station, getting up that next morning at 7 o'clock, or no, before that, formation at 7 o'clock. Formation, 7 o'clock, working all day, sometimes Saturday night for training meetings, and then Sunday evening, you pack up and you head back home to teach school the next day. I did that for 23 years. I had 3 weekends free in a month. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means I didn't make it to weddings. I didn't make it to family gatherings, reunions, and I wasn't a football coach or a baseball coach or a basketball coach, because I love sports, and I know the guys were over here talking about sports. Mr. Howard was a football coach, I believe. I heard you say. I love sports, but I missed out on all that because I was in the Army Reserve. Now, active duty, so I go to my duty station, and I'm focused. I'm focused on my mission, what I have to do. So I go to work every day. I do my mission. I go back to my barracks. You know, I've had a good day. Everything's going good. I love this stuff. It's a little different in teaching school. Trust me, if you tell someone what to do, they will do it, and they'll do it now. Hopefully these students, y'all do that here. But so for 7 years I did that, and 2 deployments, that was even easier. Deployments were easy. They were a little more dangerous, of course, but they were easy. But I'll tell you who it was hard on. It was hard on my wife and my family. They were going through issues without me. So it was hard on them, and they had to have a support system. And so within the military, we had a support system to rely on. And let me, I've got a letter here I want to share with you. If I can find it here, okay. All right. Picture of a veteran that's very, very dear and very close to us. In fact, he's close to Mr. Howard right now. That he wrote this. He wrote this for me. He was kind enough to put this together for me, and I'm going to read it. This is Veterans Day in his words. Veterans Day is a day to reflect on the selfless service and profound sacrifices made by the men and women of this country. Let me break off here for a second. As an instructor, I taught Command and General Staff College. I taught schools for captains and majors, and it was a career progression class for these guys to make it on up to, you know, lieutenant, colonel, general, and so forth. But it was a required class. And in this class, I had this one young man from Michigan, and he told us his story. He said, "Sir, in 2001, when those tires were hit, I was driving down the road and I heard it on the radio." He said, "I pulled into the first recruiting station I could find." So that's the kind of people we're talking about that are in this military that we have. It is a day to truly acknowledge the commitment and dedication of those who have wore the uniform in the times of peace and during conflict. This day is an opportunity to connect with all veterans and share their stories and ensure the freedoms they have provided to this country and are not forgotten. This evening, I'll be sitting at home, taking it easy, and I'll get phone calls. And I'll make phone calls. And those calls are made to my fellow veterans. I love talking to them. I love when they talk to me. And I always take time out for them. Because I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, I'm a colonel. I didn't get here on my own. Those NCOs took care of me. And that's how I got to be where I'm at today. They took care of me. And that's the way it is in the school system. Teachers take care of the administration. Administration takes care of the teachers. And the students take care of the teachers. Teachers take care of the students. You got that respect going on. To those who made the ultimate sacrifice, we owe them everything. Their courage and selflessness continues to inspire me every day. Their families deserve our deepest gratitude and support. The loss of a loved one in service is a pain that never fully heals, and it is something that we must never forget. But as part of something much larger than myself, I'm part of a community, a brotherhood, a sisterhood that will forever be united. By our shared experiences and our love for this great nation, more than 41 million Americans have served in the military since 1776. As of 2023, there are 16 million vets. The largest single group was during World War II, 16.4 million served. There are 45,418 alive today. As of 3/25, March of 25, there are 1.32 million active duty members. Now, what's our population? 350 million plus. And just a little over 1 million people served in this country. So that's less than 0.5%. So we have a lot of military out there, and today is a day to be happy. To go up to your fellow veterans and shake their hands and ask them, how you doing? You know, thank you for your service and what'd you do, and listen to some of their stories. Today is that day to do that. Now, for the ones that we've lost, and we've had a few in this community that we've lost in the military in the war, that's Memorial Day. That's what Memorial Day is for. And we recognize those individuals on Memorial Day, and that's a different day than today. Today is the day to be thankful to the veterans, every veteran that's ever served. So I told you I was in vocational agriculture. Give me a show of hands. Does anybody in here take vocational agriculture at the high school? Okay. A couple, 3, 4. Okay, got some back here. Did anybody have to learn the FFA creed? Somebody want to stand up and give me the first paragraph? I believe in the future of agriculture, with a faith born, not of words, but of deeds. Achievements won by present and past generations of agriculturists, and a promise of better days through better ways, even as we struggle from the former years. Something like that. I might have messed up there on the end, but I remember that. Freshman in vocational agriculture, I remember that, that first paragraph. There's 5 paragraphs to it. I'm not going to bore you with the rest of them, but I remember that. So here I am, 30 years in the teaching. I've got 27 years in the military. I'm taking it on my 27th year. I'm thinking, well, I'm going to be getting out of here. I'll have my 28th year as a lieutenant colonel, and I'll retire. That'll be it. I've had a good career at 27, 28 years. What they do in the Army, they kick you out when you get a certain number of years. If you get 24 years and you're a major and you don't make the list to become the next level to make a lieutenant colonel, they put you out. You get 3 tries and you're out. 3 swings and you're out. As a lieutenant colonel, you get 3 swings and you're out. 28 years, you're gone. So there I was, 27 years. I'm at Langley Air Force Base, got a great job down there, close to Virginia Beach. And I'm working on doctrine, as Mr. Gary said, to meet the immediate needs of the warfighter. And I'm teamed up with, believe it or not, 3 Ohio State graduates. 3 Buckeyes I'm down there with. One was a F-18 pilot, one was an A-10 pilot, and the other one was Special Forces. So we're all meeting and working on this doctrine stuff, and we're bringing in subject matter experts. And that's how we got this doctrine put together. So here I am, sitting there in my little cubicle, and I'm thinking, what's my next step? Well, I guess I'm going to have to go back to Portsmouth High School and finish it up. See Mr. Walker, finish it up. So I'm at a meeting at Joint Force Command. And this gentleman in civilian clothes, he says, hey, have you ever thought about these agriculture development teams? And I got to thinking, when I was at Camp Atterbury, I remember one team from Missouri that went through. That was in 08. And we're talking 2011 at this time. And I said, well, I'll look into it. So this was a National Guard initiative. In other words, Kansas had a team, Texas had a team, Kentucky had a team, Tennessee had a team. I don't know why it was all southern states, probably because there was more agriculture down there. They had all these teams. So here I am on active duty. I'm getting ready to come off in March, and I decided, well, let me just throw my name out there. First time I threw it out to Kansas, boom, I got a hit. They're like, hey, yeah, we want you on our team. It's like, wow, that was easy. So about a month later, then the Kentucky National Guard says, hey, we want you on our team. So I went through the rigmarole, paperwork and all that, and I end up with a Kentucky National Guard agricultural development team. Now imagine that. You go to school, you learn agriculture, you go to college, you become a vocational agriculture teacher, and then at the end of your career, these 2 careers collide. So what I did, I jumped on this team, trained up for it, and in 2010, we took off to Afghanistan. So while I was there, I worked in 5 different provinces and got to meet a lot of different people, a lot of government leaders. We met with what's called the DAIL. That's the Director of Agriculture, Irrigation, and Livestock. So I would meet with these Dales who served the governor. They were right underneath the governor for each province. And then I met with their extension agents they had out in the districts that they had. So I've done a lot of traveling, and I've seen a lot of places in Afghanistan. And when you think of Afghanistan, you think of desert, probably, mountains. Where I was located, outside of Bagram, Bagram's located in Parwan province. They kicked me out to Bamyan province, which is probably the best thing that ever happened to me. It was permissive. I got to work with the New Zealand Army in what we call the PRT, the Provincial Reconstruction Team. I know that sounds like a lot, but in this team you had the United States Department of Agriculture, you had the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and you had the Department of the State folks. At this time, the Hillary Clinton folks. And you had to work with the New Zealand folks because they were the ones that ran the PRT. Now, in this environment, I got to travel a lot. You can look this up on the internet because one of the most beautiful places in the world is Bandamere Lake. That's in Bamyan province, Bandamere Lake. So I travel there and I meet with the agricultural guys, and I'll be honest with you, they knew their agriculture. There wasn't a whole lot I could teach these folks. They'd been doing it for thousands of years. They had canals made where they would put a little shovel full of dirt and cause that water to go down to this field, and then at a certain time they'd put another little shovel of dirt and cause the water, and that's how they watered all their crops from the mountains, the melting snow from the mountains, because they had no rain from June to December. So what I worked on in Bamyan, in Parwan, in Kapisa, I'm talking about provinces here, Panjshir. Panjshir's another one. That was our area of operations. And if you studied 9/11 and know anything much about it, Massoud was one of the leaders there, and he lived in Panjshir, the line of Panjshir. He was killed about 2 days before 9/11. Al-Qaeda had a cameraman full of explosives, and they were going to do an interview with Massoud, and they blew everybody up in the room. But I had the opportunity to work in agriculture with all these folks, and their needs were basic. Seed, yeah, we give them seed, but what we wanted to do was sustain what they were doing, because we were going to leave and they had to sustain, they had to work with what they had left. Nebraska was in there before we were. They give them a Massey Ferguson tractor, I think a 135 if I got the nomenclature right on that. Just a basic little Massey Ferguson tractor. When we got there, that tractor was sitting there, still had the little nubby things on the new tires, you know. It was just sitting there. And this was at the university, Bamyan University, and you know, I asked them, I said, what's going on with this tractor? You don't use it. They don't have any diesel. How were they going to be able to sustain if they didn't have any diesel? Where were they going to get the diesel? How much it was going to cost them? You know what they needed was an old wooden plow, because those guys could get out there and they could plow. I mean, you'd go down the road and you'd see them out there starting to plow a field. In 10 minutes, you come back, that field's done. They didn't need tractors. They needed maybe an iron plow instead of a wooden plow. That's what they needed. So we got to learn that stuff. And then I got involved with the area of operations there with the different provinces and an agricultural curriculum. We put together an agricultural curriculum. Didn't put it together, I'm sorry. Purdue University put the agricultural curriculum together. We were in contact with universities back here that we would call up, get advice, and so forth. So Purdue University sent us the curriculum, and our job was to get that curriculum out to the different folks there. So that's my story on Afghanistan. I won't get into other details, but that's what we did. We were able to do that, and we thought that we were going to be successful, but you know the end of the story, right? You know the end of the story. We pulled out, didn't we? However, we got out a lot of people, the interpreters that worked with us. I had a young man, he was your all's age, young, high school age. He was my interpreter, and he was able to get out, and 21 of his family members were able to get out between 2013 and 2021. So that was the good news part of the story. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to end with this. In the Army, we learn different acronyms. Leadership. LDRSHIP. That's an acronym that we use. L stands for loyalty. D stands for duty. R stands for respect. S, selfless service, and I've heard that mentioned a couple times already. H, honor. I, integrity. And P, personal courage. Now in Mr. Walker's office, he's got something plastered up on the wall, and I think it says something like loyalty above all except for honor. Is that what it is, Mr. Walker? Did I get that right? There you go. It's on his wall. And I know you all have been taught these things since you were little, because I remember going into Portsmouth Elementary School and seeing the banners hanging from the ceiling, going down the hallway of those words. So I know you know what those words mean. And I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with this creed, because I like creeds, don't I? I mean, FFA creed after all these years. I'm going to leave you with this creed. This is our warrior ethos, and it applies to you all too, and I'll tell you why. Always place the mission first. Never accept defeat. Never quit. And never leave a fallen comrade. That's warrior ethos. And today, I'm going to leave you with that, because you have a mission here. You got these great instructors here. I have no doubt they're great instructors. I've seen evidence of it, haven't I, Mr. Walker? I've seen evidence of it. So follow their lead, learn all you can. Your mission, get to school, learn from these guys and gals. Never accept defeat. If you do something wrong, get back up and do it again. The guys in sports know that. You know, you get beat, you come back. And you never quit. You keep practicing and practicing and practicing to learn those standards that you're up against in your class. Each program has standards, I'm sure, built into that curriculum. And you got to do that weld bead, you know, a certain way, and it's got to look good, and you got to, on auto body, you got to make that look good, you know, get it all feathered out and get that taken care of. And carpentry, don't hit the wrong nail for sure. But you have standards. And never leave a fallen comrade. Well, how can we apply that? Stay off drugs. If somebody's hurting, help them. Help them up. Be a good friend to them. That's what I mean by don't leave a fallen comrade. And that's how you can apply this stuff today. So You've been a good audience. Thanks for listening to me. I know I'm pretty boring at times, but Mr. Shoemaker, I appreciate you and giving me the opportunity. I'm going to tell you, let me say something about leaders. Do I still have time? I know a little something about leaders. 30 years as a civilian in the school system and 30 years in the military. And I've seen bad ones and I've seen good ones. So I know a lot of the leadership styles. And if you want to blame me for being like I am, you can blame Mr. Walker over here because he hired me in and I've seen him lead and I've seen him do and I've seen him take care of business. I've seen Mr. West do it. I got to know Mr. Shoemaker for a little while teaching mathematics center at the high school. And I hear great things about him. Great things. So I know he's a good leader. In fact, he's so good that he scheduled me a year and a week ago. Because I walked into the office, oh, you're a veteran? Hey, I want you to speak next year at the Veterans Day ceremony. So he grabbed me, and you know what? I'm not going to turn anybody down. Especially my friends. So thanks, Mr. Shoemaker. Appreciate it, and thanks for listening to me. And with that, God bless all of you. I seen Turning Point out there on the bulletin board. I hope y'all fix that. Good to go, right? Hoo-ah. Okay, thanks, Mr. Shoemaker.
I'd like to thank Mr. Pyatt for coming in today and introducing Colonel Paulston. Colonel Paulston, thank you for coming in and sharing your story with our student body. At this time, if everyone would rise as we have the color guard retire the collars.
Pull. Left. Face. Left. Face. Forward. March.
I would like to thank each of you for your focus and attention. Keep in mind our veterans not only on November 11th, but every day thereafter. At this time, again, thank you to our veterans today for coming out and for everything you've done. We are going to go to our second block schedule. So right now, juniors will go to lab. Juniors will go to lab. Seniors, you will go to lunch. That's your lunch bell. And then at 12:04, you will then return to your second block to finish it out. So juniors report to lab, seniors report to lunch. Thank you.